All right, I hope everyone's doing well. I've got a bit of a bonus video for you today. It's very unusual for me to put out a video on Mondays, but this is to mark the occasion of the launch of a new course that I've put together in collaboration with my friend Andy from the Andy Guitar YouTube channel and website. And this course is all about country guitar. And this particular video was filmed a few months ago when Andy came into the studio and we just had a little bit of a chat about country guitar. We do a little bit of jamming and I demonstrate some ways that you can use double stops to give you that classic country sound. So I hope you enjoy it, and if you would like more country, then do check out the course. There's going to be a link to that underneath this video where you can find out some more details.
Almost heaven, West Virginia, Blue Ridge Mountains, Shenandoah River.
Okay, I've got a very special guest here with me in my studio today, Mr. Andy Crowley.
Who's that?
It is me. I'm sure you'll recognise from the wonderful Andy Guitar YouTube channel, website. So privileged to have you here. And
yeah, man, it's good to be in the den, the studio. It looks awesome.
We've been having some fun today. Been talking about country guitar, and I was just going to talk about some licks and some strategies for coming up with little country guitar parts over common chord progressions. So we're just jamming on the song Country Roads. Obviously a classic tune.
But wouldn't it be the easiest one to embellish lead over without knowing the tricks that we're going to talk about today, right?
Yeah, so I think obviously you need to know the chord progression. This one is it got? I think it's a 4-chord song.
It's a 4-chord song, but it's never in the same order.
Yeah,
so that has a tricky to it. I mean, for example, you'd learned this in A.
Yes.
And I was like, fine, but I'm going to stick a capo 2nd fret, and that made it high, like, for my voice. But I wouldn't have asked you to move everything down 2 frets, because it completely changes any open strings.
It kind of throws you if you want to use.
So I took the hit for you there, but it was a bit too high for me, I'll be honest. But an amazing thing is what to do. So chord progression for the chorus, the standard 4 chords in the key of A, that would only use 1 bar chord, so A, E, F sharp minor and D, and even just if I looped that, what's your go-to country licks to make that sound country?
So with something like that, because key of A, and I tend to think of chords in terms of numbers. So the A chord is obviously the 1 chord. And
the Nashville number system is one way to think of that.
Exactly, the Nashville number system, as it's sometimes known. So for the chorus, we've got A is the 1 chord, going to E, that's our 5 chord, and then I think it goes to the F sharp, which is the 6th chord. I get that right, the 6th chord, and then D, which is the 4 chord. So it's a 1, 5, 6, 4.
Major 4, yeah.
And then I'm thinking about those chords when I'm trying to come up with it's not exactly a lead part, but just something that's going to complement what you're doing. I think with not just with country music, just generally speaking, if you're playing a second guitar part, the most important thing is the vocals and the melody. So I just want to play something tasteful that's going.
But also the rhythm part
complement
it's taking up it's taking up a lot of real estate, right?
Totally.
You want to sit in between that or
absolutely
above it.
Yeah, you're holding down the rhythm, obviously in terms of the groove. But yeah, also that's filling up a lot of sonic real estate, as you put it. So, as a lead guitarist, I would try and stay out the way of what you're doing, and then the simplest way to do that is in terms of the register. You're playing stuff. So you're playing down here. I'm going to play a little bit higher, maybe on the highest 2 or 3 strings, some little triad shapes. I think so. Essentially, that was what I was doing here. So for the 1 chord. Got my A triad here, and I've got this little lick, little double stop. That's it. So
it's gorgeous.
It's another one of my little go-to country phrases. Straight away, that kind of gives you that country sound. It's just double stops, 6 as they're known, just because of the musical interval involved, the distance between this pair of notes. We've got a couple of different shapes here. So we've got this one here. So this is 6 on the G and 5 on the top string, and then we've got this shape as well. So 7 on the G and 7 on the top string, and then just taking that up 2 frets, and you've just got this nice run of notes, all of which works over our A chord.
Yeah, it's a harmonised major scale taking those.
Exactly.
And then you added this chromatic.
Yes, yeah,
which is totally out of scale and totally dissonant. Just thinking of
totally
it.
dissonant, but just in passing, and it sounds cool. So go.
And in passing, mainly coming down, but can be going up as well.
It kind of works both ways, I think, with this one. You can even, if you want a kind of 7th chord sound.
Oh, that would be like a.
Yeah, you get that sort of sound. So maybe that. Yeah.
And then it would go to a full chord.
That's it.
You'd kind of lead the chord progression almost if you were doing that.
Exactly. So that's a little lick. I think I can't remember. I think something similar to that is played on the Country Roads recording, but it works a treat over that one chord. And then we're changing to the E chord, and I could do. Take that same
That would
idea
be the easiest to find, wouldn't it?
Onto an E chord.
I think sometimes some of these licks on higher strings are really hard to find when it goes out of pentatonic shape 1, for example. And this kind of always stays in shape 1 because the string 1 note is just the root.
That's it.
It's just it's an octave of the root, but it's the roots.
Yeah, I'm just thinking of this as coming out of a bar chord shape.
Yeah.
So I've got my bar chord.
And then it's muscle memory and sort of visual memory from there relative to that.
That's it.
One.
Absolutely. It's almost like the lick is attached to the chord. For me.
Which is absolutely right.
Yeah, wherever I've got a bar chord, if it's a G, there's my lick. Attached to that chord shape. And straight away you can articulate that idea in different ways, and if you want that country sound, you can do a bit of that chicken picking kind of hybrid thing as well. So rather than playing notes like that, you could go.
Yeah, man.
Got a bit of sort of,
so let's do this for the full progression, because we do have a tricky one in this with the minor chords. So we got the 1 to the 5, which let's just stick it up there. Then we sort of need.
Then we've got the minor chord.
F sharp minor.
Yeah, I mean you can kind of make that sort of fit that approach. Yeah.
We do a similar thing.
There, that might work.
Have to change it slightly.
Yeah.
2 and 2, 4 and 4, and then 5 and 6.
That
does work over that F sharp minor.
Works, yeah.
Or you've got a moment of improvisation.
Yeah, exactly. Or I think what I did was perhaps sort of thought in terms of something a bit different, maybe a triad, something like that, and then you can go back to the that kind of thing. So shall we just play through the chorus?
Yeah, let's do it. Shall I just stick it to the basic 4 chord progression?
Let's just do the basic 4 chord. Maybe create a little 4 chord loop. 1, 2, 3, 4.
Beautifully done, and of course that's just one. That's basing a whole solo around one.
That's
lick.
just one lick. Yeah, I mean, in real musical situation, that perhaps that would be overdoing it a little bit.
Vary.
I'd throw in a bit more variation, but.
So this double stop idea. So this is a double stop because it's a pair of strings together.
Yeah, that's how I use the term. So whenever I'm playing a pair of notes, it's going to be a double stop. I think with 6, generally speaking, you've got a string skip. Involved,
which is perfect for chicken picking, right?
Exactly.
With a pick and with a finger,
hybrid picking or finger style. Just got the pair of notes.
Yeah.
There,
or even just using a pick, you can pick one and then the other. But it works. It complements that perfectly.
Exactly. But
are there any other go-to?
Well, very closely related would be thirds.
Yeah.
Who, without wanting to get overly theoretical,
think
if you invert.
Can we handle thirds? Let's go with thirds. It's fine. We can all count to 4 because we can play guitar.
It doesn't.
We only need to count to 3 for thirds.
Yeah, it doesn't have to get complicated, but yeah, 6 and thirds are basically the same thing. If you flip a 6 upside down, you kind of got a third.
Yeah, you are playing the root and the third.
Yeah.
Of the chord here, you're just doing it here rather than here.
It can get confusing, which is why I like to keep things simple and just think in terms of.
And it is very shapes.
Chord shapes a lot of time.
Try and be shapes. Because you've played this whole song following a chord chart without having to read any tab at all.
Yeah, I've not.
And I think that's a really powerful technique that a lot of people, if you're playing a lead over this, they'd be thinking of a traditional solo, minor pentatonic, major pentatonic solo probably, or they're reading tab.
I think, absolutely.
Take from the tab what we want, but then use it over the chord.
Tab has got its place. It's a useful tool. But yeah, for me, knowing the chord progression is the key. And we've not rehearsed this.
We got it first time. Well, we got what we got first time.
Yeah, it wasn't flawless, but I know that obviously know the song to listen to it. But I've not really played the song before. But
that's pretty incredible.
Yeah,
right?
you know the chord changes, and then
you've got this trick bag under your fingers, which we're wanting to share with
I'm
people.
kind of thinking about with this.
Let's cover the thirds as well, because it
it
almost sounds like Brown Eyed Girl.
It's totally Brown Eyed Girl here, but yeah, just sort of the example here. We've got our 6th here. It's a C sharp and it's an A. That's the 6th. But what if we play an A and a C sharp? It's the same notes, but we kind of change the octave, and now we've got some thirds, and you can do that kind of idea. It's exactly the same notes as this, but because the notes are closer together in terms of the intervals, it's got a slightly different feel.
Yeah.
Emotionally speaking, both super useful, and I would just. Over the A, if you go to
it'd be hard over the E, but you can do it here.
Again, so thinking with this one, my reference point would perhaps be it's this awkward sort of C chord cage grip, or this little triad shape.
Yeah.
Here, like a D chord triad shape.
Yeah.
In the top of that, you've got your little third shape, and that's my jumping off point for.
Or the first 2 notes of "Where Is My Mind."
Exactly. Yeah.
Can't believe the classics just to remind a place on the fretboard.
Indeed.
That's super useful. Over the F sharp, a little bit trickier because again we've got this. It's like starting on a minor third rather than a major, so it is different.
Yes.
So sort of go 2 frets apart. I'll probably be doing it there.
Exactly,
2 and 4, 4 and 6, and then
that's it.
6 and 7, which is more kind of borrowed from an A chord there, really. And then on the D, just there.
Exactly.
And then you've got 2 amounts of licks there that you can call upon as and when you choose.
Exactly that.
And what are you doing in between? Are you just thinking A major pentatonic? Are you totally following chord shapes and triads?
I think you've got a choice. I think. You can't go wrong if you just play the. I describe it as key center playing, where it's like what key are we in? We're in the key of A. Just do some A stuff.
Yeah.
A major pentatonic will work great. A major scale.
Yeah.
And you can kind of make that work if you've got a reasonably good ear. You can't go too far wrong if you just.
That's all the melody is.
Yeah, you can't go too far wrong if you're just playing A major stuff, and then you can choose when you want to. You describe the chords in the actual chord progression, and it's a little bit more of a sophisticated approach. I think.
Sure,
but
it does still make it sound very country as opposed to this just being the same as you would do over the blues.
Yeah.
I mean, you could use this in a blues, but sparingly probably. Whereas you can really overwork it in country, and it always works. It always complements it, right? It's very signature country licks.
Definitely, yeah. I mean, country is big on melody, and the way you find the good sounding melody notes is to look inside the chords you're playing over, and those are going to be the strongest notes.
And really accenting like that major thirds sliding up from a minor's fine,
Yep.
sliding down to it's fine, but when you're playing a blues, you'd more commonly, even if it is in a major key, you'd be a bit ambiguous with the third. You'd be bending slightly up to it. This is a very blues thing, which in country overemphasise that
it's generally
major,
right? It's a sweeter sound with
For
a lot of country stuff. I suppose it would be possible to play A minor pentatonic over this tune, and it might sound okay, but it won't.
But you'd be having to bend that up. You'd be wanting to bend it.
That,
And straight, you're making it sound. It sounds a bit sleazy when we do this. That's why we like the blues sound with this. Country music's way more
I mean, this is
blatant with the majorness of it.
So totally,
really
this is a beautiful kind of emotional song,
Gorgeous.
and part of that is that sort of sweetness of the major.
It's what makes it relaxing to listen to, right? It's literally there in the notes we play on guitar and there in the original song.
Totally.
Wonderful. So, other points of reference for this sort of licks are, I definitely thought I couldn't kind of do this sort of thing without thinking of Creedence.
Yes,
100%. It's full of. I mean, even basically starts off with a triad, but it's using the same shape and intervals, and then to A. Sounds great on a Telecaster, then down to A, and then back to D. So it does 2 on the D, 1 on the A, and one on the D to finish it. And that's literally it. So 2, 3, 4. Back to D. Up Around the Bend by Creedence. And there's countless others, but that's just one where if you just wanted to stick to learn it on one chord and then another chord, so good to do. Absolutely by the book. That's the place I'd be looking to for this Country 6 stuff.
All right, well I think we're going to end it there for today. Thanks so much to Andy for stopping by today. It's been a real sort of pleasure to have you here to jam with you, and I'll see you again soon. Take care.
Thank you. Country roads take me home to the place I belong. West Virginia, Mountain Mama, take me home. Country roads, all my memories gather round her. It's the taste of moonshine, teardrops.